What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Great Outdoors. I'm your host, Jayce, aka the Polack. Today I have for you the Hunt Arsenal Cloud Saddle. It's as light as a cloud. It just flies away like you never even saw it exist. It's amazing. Let's get stuck in. All right, so this is the saddle. It comes in this little saddle bag, I guess you want to call it. Very high quality bag, feels really nice. It's got the, nice pull tab on here, easy to use if you had gloves. So if you wanted, you could leave this in the bag. This saddle has a lot going on, so it might be kind of beneficial to kind of pack it in. And when I actually took this saddle hunting, that's what I used. I used the bag and I packed it in. You pull the saddle out, first impressions. I really like the color schemes here. You got the Ranger green and the gray. I like the different, shades that it has. And then obviously there's a little bit of red on the leg loops here, but not too flashy. Nice colors for hunting. Really like this color scheme. You'll notice right away that it's extremely lightweight, so that's why they call it the Cloud, because it's as light as a cloud. This thing came in at like 1.46 on my scale, so like 1.5 pounds. Extremely lightweight. Now that was with the leg straps. Some guys don't like using leg straps. I'm a firm believer that if a saddle comes with leg straps, you should probably use them. When you pull it out, you'll notice that this thing it's a little bit big. I mean, it's a bigger size saddle. Now, they don't list really any specifications on their website, so I'm assuming it's just kind of like a one size fits all saddle. And I'm a 38-inch waist, and this thing fits me really well. I don't feel like it's too tight. I don't feel like it's too small. It fits pretty darn good. You'll kind of look at the saddle, and right away you'll notice it has a webbing bridge. It has a couple holes in the bridge. Now that's supposed to be for an add-on accessory, which is kind of like a hip pinch spreader. So it's a bar that's going to spread out. I never saw it came out. Now this saddle was released last summer at the Mobile Hunter Expo, and I never saw this accessory released. So I don't know if they're having issues with Genesis 3D's version, maybe patents. I don't know. I just haven't seen it come out. It has an Amsteel belt, so that is your belt that you put on. I like to just go ahead and put it on like a t-shirt. Some people don't like to do that. I just find it's easier. You don't have to step through a saddle or do anything, fancy. And then you just go ahead and cinch your rope belt down. And this is kind of what it looks like when it's on you. So it is a lot going on. You have your leg straps, so you can just pull those through and very easily just put them on this bottom loop here. Just like any saddle, pretty simple. Like I said, I like to use leg straps. Some guys don't believe in them. Oh, that's a mosquito. Come on. It's March. So now we have our webbing bridge. We have our D-loops right here. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff going on the sides here. So we have some adjustments. I don't know exactly what they're called. I'm just calling them like an upper and lower adjustment loops, where you can kind of dial in the comfort. So if you're going to pull on top, it's going to put more pressure into your back, and then very easily you can let it out. Same thing on the bottom. If you want more cupping under your butt, you can go ahead and pull this, and you're going to get more cupping, and you can do it on either side. So this saddle, the adjustments are like infinite. You can go in a tree and you can adjust any kind of comfort you want. If you want to be sitting in your saddle, you can really get a whole different variety of comforts in the saddle. Now, I think that's a good thing, but it also might be a little bit of a bad thing, and we'll touch on that at the end. As you see me in this saddle right now, there's like a lot of stuff just kind of flopping around and moving around. There's no real way to tie this bridge down. Now I'm sure guys will get fancy and they'll do some DIY stuff, maybe adding something here to kind of contain this bridge. But you know, typically when I hunt in a saddle, I'm gonna want to walk in my saddle. Now, when I did take this out hunting, I did carry it in, and the reason I carried it in is because I really didn't know how to manage all this stuff going on. So what I actually found with this saddle is I just didn't spend enough time messing with it. And you can see in this scene right before, I was kind of didn't know what to do. You know, everything's kind of flopping around. I'm walking up, you can see the bridge is just hanging low. What I ended up deciding to do is try to figure out how I could stow this. So I took the bridge and just, you know, folded it up, put it under the little am steel belt there, and it made a big change. It helped out a lot. It still wasn't as good as I'd like, and this is where I actually discovered, hey, dummy, just, you know, cinch all this stuff down, and now you have a really compact, pretty slick little package. So that was a total oversight on my end, and I just wanted to share that. I noticed that towards the end of filming this video. So you go ahead, lean back. Let's adjust this a little bit. You get in your saddle, and like I said, right now at this moment, it feels very, very comfortable. I have a lot of room on my bridge right here, so you can see the carabiner. I have a lot of room where I can maneuver if needed. If I need to make a shot, I can go bend around. There's not as much room to maneuver compared to like your standard rope saddle, and because you're kind of limited, and you're limited because of right here, you can only go so far. So if you want to really pivot down, you're only going to get so far of adjustment there. One of the things that I kind of noticed that I don't love about this webbing bridge, and I don't know if it's the way it's sewn or what, it just doesn't seem to really, you know, it requires some effort to get it to kind of go through that carabiner. When you're hunting with a traditional rope style saddle with a rope bridge or an am steel bridge, it just seems like it goes through the carabiner a little easier. It's not the end of the world. Some guys might actually like that, where there's more tension there. I don't know. For me personally, I didn't love that. And this here, I didn't really dial too much in, but if I wanted to go ahead and get some more cupping on the bottom, I can go ahead and make that adjustment, and really, really comfortable. I mean, it's just really cups under my butt. You know, the saddle is so large, there's just a lot of support, especially me being a bigger guy. When I found what I was hunting, you know, I was messing with it. I was trying different things. I think it's really cool that you can do that, but also what I found when I was hunting is that I was just constantly fidgeting. And you know, a lot of guys say you should really try saddles. You should go maybe to like a mobile hunter expo, and you can sit in a saddle for a half hour and you can really kind of figure out what you like about a saddle. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're never gonna know how a saddle really feels until you take it out on a hunt. Till you get to that 3 hour mark, that 4 hour mark, 5 hour mark. That's when saddles kind of expose themselves. Is this saddle really comfortable? Is it really not? And the reason I'm saying that is when I first got in the tree, I really loved that these pockets on here, really, really nice pockets. I loved how everything was contained. I was really excited to use the saddle. The D-rings were really easy to use. And I got in the tree, it was dark, and it was on a rifle hunt. Everything was set up. I was really excited. And, you know, first hour or so, I just basically ran it kind of like normal. You know, I didn't really dial too much stuff in. I just kind of hung here for a while. And then my back started hurting a little bit. So then I kind of just made a little adjustment here, made a little adjustment here. And what I ended up finding out over the course of 3 or 4 hours is that I was constantly fiddling with these adjustments. Like to the point where I couldn't really dial it in, because once I would make an adjustment, it would kind of put a hot spot or kind of pinch one area. And what I personally found for me, and this is me, this is not you, maybe you're going to be different, and as with saddles, so many different people are affected different ways. I just felt like I was constantly manipulating this stuff, And you know, I saw some deer. I actually shot a couple does that day, but you know, in a hunt, you know, you don't want to be constantly moving and manipulating things. You know, maybe you can get away with that where you hunt. I hunt a lot of Michigan public land. It's hard to get away with a lot of movement, and I just felt like I was constantly messing with this thing. All right, so one of the most unique things about this saddle is these pockets. These pockets are tremendously big, very tight. This material here, it's really smooth, kind of, I don't know, it's flexible material, but it's tight, so it holds things well. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. So I have my linesman rope, I have, what else we got in here? And I got his strap and the tethered, whatever, claw or whatever they call it. So, I mean, fits everything that you need really nice. I do really like this feature on the saddle. If, you know, the rumors do end up being true where they're gonna make a version 2, I hope they keep this feature. All right, so final thoughts on the saddle. I think it's a really good first generation saddle. I think that the features on here are really cool, the pockets. You know, I think that it's cool that there's a lot of adjustability here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's too much. Maybe it needs to be thought about how the pinching feels and stuff like that. You know, was it really tested in hunting situations versus kind of testing in your backyard? I really truly believe that with saddles, it's going to be different for everybody. So my opinions might not be the same as everybody else's. But there's also a difference between testing in the field on a hunt or versus testing in your yard. The web bridge, I like a web bridge. I wish it was adjustable. I don't like the fact that you can't adjust it. I like to have a shorter bridge, and I would like to shorten this up some because I like to be closer to the tree, more in like this position. I could probably maybe try to shorten my hitch a little bit. That would help. There's this little arsenal thing right here. It impedes when you're rolling through here. You can feel it. I don't like that. I wish they would get rid of that. I would like to see that spreader bar technology that I heard that was going to be coming out. I never saw it released. You know, the price when it was at $349, probably a little bit high in my opinion. $299, I think it's a lot more guys are going to want to try it out and check it out. You know, with the rumors of them possibly coming out with a Generation 2, I would probably wait. You know, I think, you know, you get some feedback. And if you look across the saddle industry, you know, how many versions of TX5 Lone Stars were there? There were several. There was probably, you know, 4 or 5 iterations of that saddle. So it takes a little time to kind of dial these things in. And, you know, Arsenal's a new company. They have some really cool stuff. I'm on the Magnum platform here. Really cool items. And I think that if you give them a little bit of time, they're really going to dial this saddle in. And, you know, if it was me, I'd probably wait. You know, that's my honest opinion. Maybe get one of these secondhand if you don't want to spend the full price. They have a lot of sales in the summertime. I've saw where you can get some pretty good deals, 15-20% off, even a show discount. So I think if you can get it for cheaper, it'd be worth trying, or maybe borrowing your buddies. You know, this is not my saddle. I've had it. I borrowed it for a while. And it probably, the reason that it took me so long to make this video is because I wasn't like super thrilled about it. It wasn't like some product I was so excited about doing a video on, and consequently I kind of took my time with it and basically just didn't rush it. So that's my opinion. Of course, they're my opinions, they're not yours. I thank you guys for tuning into this video. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Post a comment down below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer it to my best ability, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.